Welcome.
Greetings.
Yeah, welcome to Kings of the Commonwealth with
Yes.
the two favourite countercharge hosts.
We've removed the dead weight. You have just the meat.
It's amazing how much I feel I am floating today.
Yeah, it's a sense of lightness, levity.
Yeah,
We're no
absolutely.
longer under the
Yeah.
tyrannical yoke of the FNUF.
Well, that's I'm calling myself the new Rob because after today, probably no one will want him back. I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
it's just
Yeah,
going to be so good.
yeah.
He's going to be chased out of town with pitchforks.
Speaking of which, I better keep an eye on the comments because you never know. Once we get up to 2 or 3 viewers, someone might comment.
Yeah.
Um,
We
how have
might
you
get
been?
four. We might get four
We're,
viewers tonight.
yeah, true. Oh, actually, we've hit 5. We've hit 5 already.
Oh,
So
wow.
wow,
Whoa,
wow,
whoa. Slow
yeah,
down, guys.
yeah. Which is probably not bad after a Masters event. I'm assuming there's a lot of people paying off their hobby tickets at home
Yeah. A
after a big
lot of
weekend.
travel hangovers, a lot of
Yeah,
bleary eyes for people who actually made it to work today.
yeah. And thanks, Adrian from Western Australia, for your saying comment.
Appreciate it. Much
And
appreciated.
Mark Zelinski, welcome back. How have you been, mate?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I just got I wasn't at Masters this weekend because I'm not good enough,
Mm,
and I was also at my sister's wedding,
okay.
so I went back
Did you,
home.
out of interest, did you qualify?
I did not. I didn't actually get
Okay.
to play in a 2-day. I ran the only 2-day up here, so I
Right.
didn't. I didn't get a chance. I was like, with all the 1 days and the people who couldn't go, I was like, maybe I don't know, probably like 50 points away, so not even close. One of the guys, John, who won all the tournaments and the 2-day, he actually qualified with only one day, but he
Okay.
could make it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So no one directly from your
No.
local area went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
Felix. We appreciate it. Yeah.
yeah,
And Billy, this is exactly how we feel.
isn't everybody?
Everybody. Did you manage to catch any? Oh, well, probably with the wedding, you probably didn't catch any of
No,
the
I was
Dash 28 coverage.
getting intermittent messages from a few chats of keeping me up to date and just scrolling through the Dash 28 periodically in the lulls.
Mm.
But I didn't get a chance to watch any of the content. Although I heard it went very well, like the live streaming. I heard it went well.
It was good. The camera setup was good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we may as well talk about the Masters now. We'll start the show with that as a bit of a wrap up of the Masters.
Yeah.
He, what was his name? Peter someone apparently upgraded his equipment to a 4K camera. I don't
Oh,
think we were
nice.
actually streaming in 4K, but it gave us, because that would have been limited by the hotel.
Right.
But we were getting a really good picture.
That's
You
nice.
couldn't quite see down to the dots on the dice, but pretty bloody close.
That's
Um,
nice.
and Mike just had it so well organized, as he always does, right?
He
Paul
is.
Forbes, someone
He's
said.
the
Yep.
true hero of Kings of War, the
Oh,
king
that's
of
Mike.
Kings of War.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, let our Facebook access your profile, mate.
And
Or
then
StreamYard, sorry.
Paul
Yeah,
Forbes, I think doesn't he have a
that's the
YouTube
camera
channel?
guy.
He has a
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
channel, doesn't he? And
he
he
does.
does battle
Oh,
reports.
yeah, someone will be able to
They're
tell
really
us that
good.
as well. Yeah, are they?
Yeah.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
But Victorian Gaming, I'm thinking from memory. Is that right?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds right. He's in BC, I
Mm,
think.
yeah. So the picture was really clear. I mean, Mike had the chats for every game organized like a week beforehand. Everyone, um, you know, sorry, getting distracted by the comments. And I didn't say, and then the very last game, we came to a game with Night Stalker versus Night Stalker, so no inspiring, but I got told I couldn't talk politics when I suggested it might have been a metaphor for the leadership of America over the past over the past
The top table
decade.
of the U.S.
Yeah,
Masters,
yeah,
mate. Yeah.
yeah. No inspiring on it.
It's just a nightmare with no inspiring, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, we were holding our breath the whole game because you're like, any nerve roll could completely swing the game.
Absolutely.
And even at the end of turn 2 where Nate had gone hard and
Hmm.
probably couldn't win because things didn't go his way,
Yeah.
um, a couple of big random nerve rolls with no inspiring could make
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
would
It makes
theoretically swing it.
when you're facing Night Stalkers with Night Stalkers, it makes those
Mm,
gamble turns a little more tempting because you're like,
yeah,
well, now it really is a 50-50. Like, because
Mm,
a 50-50 nerve check with inspiring is only 25% chance of success. So you're
mm.
like, I think it might make you more of a gambler.
Yeah. Most of the time, the table talk, we could mute it, Mark. Most of the time, it was on because we wanted to hear what they were saying. So,
Yeah, that makes
um,
sense.
yeah, but yeah, and obviously via YouTube, you can't choose to mute one and not the other. But
Right.
yeah, I think Mike did um, Mike did an awesome job.
Who's
For
that
that,
one?
that's Eric Arroyo, who was
Oh,
interesting
okay.
on the stream. That whenever we wanted a percentage chance of something, he would just comment it in the thread for us.
Nice.
So
The
yeah,
calculator.
human. I assume he had one of the
Yeah,
the things on
the
the
Kings of
side.
War.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which any one of us could have done, but we had an Eric, so why would you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I think Mike needs massive credit. Paul Forbes needs massive credit.
Yeah.
I think easily the best streaming that I've seen from a Masters event. Um, I think StreamYard, like Matt did a great job last year, Matt Carmack, but I think StreamYard tends to do it a little bit better. You just get a
Hmm.
bigger picture and
Yeah.
things. Um, and going live to YouTube is awesome too. So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
It was
I just had it. I
accessible.
had my computer there and had the TV directly behind it, so I could watch it in big, big
That's
at the
smart.
same time.
That's smart.
Yeah, yeah.
So how
So
many?
it's all there for anyone that wants to go and watch it back. There's what so I did that game 2 and 6, and what
Yeah.
Mike in those first few games did is didn't necessarily pick the people that might have been expected all the time to be top 5 afterwards, because then they would likely be on the stream later.
Right.
So
Right.
you get a good variety in those early games. Still picking interesting games, but
Right.
you should see basically different people for all 6
I'll
games.
have to go
So
back, have some downtime this week. I'll take a look at some of the streams.
yeah, absolutely. And then I think in game 2 when John Quayle was on, he was making big he was harping on everyone when they didn't use the correct King's nomenclature. So for like things where it might be an old Warhammer throwback for
Yeah.
wounds,
Is
it'd be like
that potential
damage.
of a bit of RC member
Yeah,
campaigning?
maybe
He's like,
this is part of his
I know all
campaigning.
the rule words.
I only
I know
use
the right
British
words. I should
terminology.
be. You know what? Knowing the right words, it would be a step up for the RC.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
that's
you
some
guys.
serious
I love you
serious
guys.
shade right there, mate.
No,
You look. If only we had you on here, Jeremy. We'd take a bit of you. Just
just a
we're
little bit.
happy without Rob. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So have you been working on anything?
A little bit. It's
Mm,
been a bit crazy around the house and like with work lately, but I'm way behind on the hobby challenge as
mm,
expected.
mm.
I don't want to. I don't want to like actually make progress and scare people. But I have a horde of great axe assembled and primed, so
Yeah.
they're ready
Hey,
for
I
paint.
I think that's good for you, mate.
Yeah.
Well played. Yeah.
And then I actually finished assembling the horde of knights for my Rordia, but I gotta. Oh, Matt has some official business to attend to.
No, sorry. I thought I had to go do something at reception, but I don't.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so I got that, and so just kind of puttering around. But now I need to, with King Beyond the Wall coming up, I was hoping to get Rhodia done for that, but I think I'm gonna have to default to Rats and just get Rhodia done for Crossroads in September. So I have to buckle down. I think I got like 6 or 8 weeks. You're muted, Matt?
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I was like, it was nice and quiet for a little while, but
Yeah. I look, I don't think you're the only one that's a bit behind. I was looking at the picks for July, and I think obviously a lot of people got focused on Masters. So
yeah,
hopefully we get a little bit of an influx.
yeah, it goes until the end of the year. So I know my fall is usually a much more productive painting time. Like in the summer here in Canada, we actually can be outside, so we tend to be outside as much as possible.
Yeah. Although I'm looking at your skin tone, mate. Have you even been outdoors in the last 6 months?
I have actually. This is me tanned.
All right. That looks like me tanned as well.
Yeah. So I've been playing softball every Sunday. I'm outside almost every day. So it's like this is a golden Alex.
I go from see through to sparkle. Yeah. Twilight style.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm in the middle. My one sister will she gets like olive skin immediately the first day of summer, and then my other sister just bursts into flames. So I'm kind of in the middle.
Thankfully, like a phoenix, she rises from the ashes.
Yes, yes.
Mark said he's building his Reforge Orcs. I do have a good picture from Mark of an unopened box of Hellstrikers. So for his update. Uh,
Oh,
what else?
Charles is starting. He's going to build a halfling army from scratch for Crossroads. This is a are you going to have two teams or one team, Charles? I know you got your club down in Pennsylvania. How
Mm.
many guys are you bringing up to Crossroads?
Yeah, we'll see what Charles says there. But I can reassure Charles if he picks contrast paints, they go on a dream on the halfling.
Yeah.
So contrast or one of the others. So where's his Charles answered us?
Okay. Oh, Virginia. Sorry.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were. I must be confusing with someone else.
Mm, yeah, do that, Mark, because I'll believe it when I see it, mate.
Yeah. 500 points. That's all he can do.
Yeah. Look, Ryan, the idea is that it's Mantic, but like you can post whatever you want, mate. You just won't win a prize.
Yeah. Work on what you want to use, but
Yeah.
if you can make it 90% Mantic, we'll love you even more.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, Charles confirming he does have contrast paints, so that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've been in a little bit of a had trouble, but getting through some stuff too. But I'm almost through a regiment of wild lancers, wild runner lancers, whatever you call them, for the halflings.
The
Yeah,
melee cav.
yeah. I'm actually playing a game on UB at the moment against Dave, and I'm running 2 hordes of them,
Oh,
which is
nice.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So fun, like 2 nimble hordes.
I've collected a lot of the Westphalia halfling knights from Rob and a couple of my club mates.
Yeah.
So I think I might put together a horde of those for Vordia. Hopefully they stay in the list.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows at this point? Look, I think they'll be in the list for at least. I don't think we'll see fourth
A couple
inside 2
more
years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple more years. So I'll get 1 or 2 games with them.
Yeah, and I don't think hordes of knights in general will disappear.
No.
But there's something about like they lose a few attacks, but and they're def 4, but like nimble on the horde is just fun.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have 20 the orc gore riders, and I keep thinking like, why? You know what? I'm gonna make one request from the RC for Clash of Kings.
Just one?
20. Yeah, just one. I want hordes of gore riders.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's what I want. That's what I want. So.
Hope you heard that, RC.
Yeah.
A horde of gore. Yeah, because I mean, gore riders are pretty shit, aren't they?
They're not good.
Like,
they're not good.
No, they're not good. Their nerves too low.
13, 15 is like, it's pathetic.
It's light cav, and like surely a gore rider is not light cav. I mean, I think it was.
And I know the war drum is there, so they're 15, 17, but it's like, and the new, maybe I'll make a chariot war drum, but it's not gonna be a super great list. The one with 2 regiments of gore riders is gonna be my fun time list.
I mean, yeah, and I haven't got any inside knowledge on this, but I doubt that we'll see a regular orc list get much love while there's the Reforge orcs. But like, honestly, they could give them a nerve bump or something, because it's not like orcs have won anything since Zettelmeyer won the Masters. Like
Trowbridge, Eric
Trowbridge, sorry.
Yeah,
Trowbridge.
no, it's thing. And if someone says horde of slave gore riders, the slave orc gore riders, that'd be funny too. Even worse nerve.
Yeah,
but
I just love, like, so hard to use, but it's just from a thematic point of view, it's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't resist using hordes of knights, even though I'm so bad with them, and like having the double 1 rule, which I don't think will ever go, just makes it so punishing. Like, you just literally have, because most of the time they need an item too. 400 points with basically swinging their balls in the breeze, and if you double 1,
absolutely. It's like, oh yeah, you can overkill something by 8 damage or whatever, but then it's like, oh, nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Now, should we leave King Beyond the Wall for a bit? Are you still waiting for some permission on some pictures, or
no? We can talk about it now.
So, do you want to talk about King Beyond the Wall?
Yeah, so we got King Beyond the Wall in Hamilton coming up August 13th and 14th. It's going to be Black Knight Games. They have a new game room that they built during the pandemic, so I think we're gonna have room for 30 or 40 players.
Nice.
It's I think we had 18 come out in the fall for
Mm-hmm.
for in the last one, and something that we did in the spring for Reign of Blood was we had a terrain set. So the top table we had like lava terrain set that John McCready painted, and we raffled that off to donate money to Doctors Without Borders to support their continued efforts in Ukraine to provide medical care to those in need. So for this King Beyond the Wall, we Nathan Cerrone, sorry, he's the guy who did the Pokemon army that I posted a couple of weeks ago.
Mm.
He's
Which was far more, before people get outraged, was far more than just like sticking Pokemon toys on bases and
no,
saying
he
it was an
3D
army.
printed the whole thing, painted it all.
Yep.
Each Pokemon is like thematically like grouped into units for heart piercers, for ensnarers, fire elementals. It all actually makes sense. It actually
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
one of the better proxy armies that I've seen.
Mm.
But he painted it as a joke. Well, he wanted to paint an army for another player to use sight
Mm.
unseen at the tournament.
Yeah. Wow.
So he,
And yeah, forces of nature, you said, right?
yes, his forces of
Yeah. Yeah.
nature,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And John McCready, of course, won the tournament with it because he just wins tournaments with anything.
Everything. That's what he does.
It's just what he
My
does.
name's John, and I'm a winner.
But the week after the tournament, he approached me and said, "I have an idea for painting a theme army, and we could raffle it off at King Beyond the Wall for charity." And I said, "That's a great idea." And he's like, I want to work out the theme and do some tests and and see if it works." So
Yep.
he sent me some pictures today. I'm not going to reveal the theme. We'll have him on the podcast on this
Okay.
live stream. He'll make a post in the group. But it's
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll make a post, or maybe I wonder if you could jump on next week.
yeah. I think maybe next
Yeah.
Monday we can have him on because
Yeah. Although that would mean you being on 2 weeks in a row, mate.
it's
So.
it's a bonkers theme. For this theme, I'll be on two times in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna donate all proceeds from the raffle to Doctors Without Borders again. And yeah,
I tell you what, you should consider
what's that?
if you want to raise some serious coin. I mean, I know you might want to make this about locals and see it, but if someone was willing to pay postage as well,
Yeah.
let them bid.
I think so. I think we're gonna open it up because honestly, I think this is gonna be a widely appealing theme for people.
Yeah, I will totally buy some tickets, and I will happily pay postage for an army like that. You know.
Yeah. So
Mm.
look forward to seeing the updates on that because it's gonna be awesome. The tournament's gonna be awesome. I think we're up to like 16 or 14 players. I think we're just trying to get over 20 because I know
Yeah, and that's early days, right? How far away?
we're like 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah, you'll get some more.
I think with Masters coming up or just happening and then Crossroads coming up, it's kind of tough to fit it into the Northeast schedule. But we'll get a solid 20, 24 players, and it'll be an awesome day. I know we're getting some guys from Albany and Buffalo, so this is the first time we'll have guys from the U.S. coming up for one of the GTs after all the border shut down. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So we've got a couple of comments here. Adrian, yeah, I think that's totally true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
my belief is just it still wouldn't do anything. Like it wouldn't make them OP. Like give them 14, 16. That'd be fine.
Give them a nerve bump and just make the war drum maybe something a little bit different.
The war drum can't keep up anyway.
No.
Like it's not the same speed. So
I think like 14, 16 with Fury or something like that. Kind of make them like
nice.
make them something interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan asked about rules. There's not really strict rules, Ryan. Charles has though posted a link for you in reply to your comment. And Mark has posted a picture. Okay, cool. So I'll check that out. Should we go? Oh, so some of you guys might have seen that. Probably not many of you follow the actual page for Tabletop TO, and I know that America's working on theirs, but unfortunately, Tabletop TO is coming to an end in terms of support for game systems because it's a guy who's been just running it on his own. But we've already engaged a team here in Australia, and we're going to try and save it. I've reached out to him. He doesn't want to sell the whole website, but he's going to give us the Kings of War overlay for it. And then we're going to try and build a site and put that, and hopefully get the legacy data, because there's a fair bit of Kings of War history in there now too.
There's a lot of
Um,
tournaments, yeah.
yeah, so we're already working on getting all that data and hopefully porting it basically onto a new site. My man Nick Prosser is, like, I asked him about 30, 40 minutes ago, and I've already received a big Asana task list about what we want out of it, and hopefully we're going to save tabletop TO for the community, and keep that going. So that's our ideal. We'll just look into what are going to be the costs for us and things like that. But so we're trying to keep it. We're trying to
Yeah.
keep it, because at the moment, like, I know America's building one, but I know it's still in its kind of testing phase. Oh, tabletop, I think they said are going till October.
Okay.
So we'll still be able to use it, and then we'll just build a new structure around his current code. So
Yeah, 'cause I know that's what we
um,
use up here for our
oh,
tournament.
it's so easy.
It's
And like,
so.
if we can get a hold of the code, our idea then hopefully is we might get a team behind it,
Mhm.
a developer team, and then hopefully we can add things like the Americans are doing with putting blackjack scoring into it and things
Right.
like that to make things a bit simpler. Adding hobby and sports scoring. I think once we get a hold of the code, that shouldn't be too hard,
Mhm.
because he never built it for Kings. It was always built for X-Wing. So anything we
Right.
wanted while he was reasonably
It was just
active
bonus.
with doing for us, it was just it wasn't a priority. So
Yeah.
I think once we get that code, it won't be hard to convert it to
Yeah,
something
if
that's
you could
more
get the
Kings
soft
appropriate.
scores in, that'd be great. Like if
Yeah,
that's
and honestly, I can't see us at building anything other, like, we will get the Kings overlay and then probably make it for Kings only, so that
Mhm.
you know don't care
Who
about the
cares
other
about
game
other
systems.
games? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Maybe make an Armada one or a Firefight
Yeah,
one
and
in the
I
future.
exactly, yeah. So I'd say and whatever, if they do a reboot of Vanguard and that
Mhm.
becomes something, or if they something for Firefight, potentially we might make it Mantic specific, and maybe we'll put a Patreon behind it or something just to cover some of the costs. I don't know. We've got to
Right.
look into what it'll cost us, but yeah.
Right.
But hopefully we'll save it for you guys. Um, Now, we kind of did Masters a little bit, but we'll
Yep.
probably come back to it. What I'm going to do is, why don't we do, before we do anything about results and stuff, which most people probably know, I do have John McGrew shared on our page. Do you know John?
I saw that him come up a bunch during, but I don't know him, no.
No, I think he must have been involved with the team running it.
Yeah.
Um, I have, he posted a Google Drive of a bunch of photos, so I thought I might share those. Chrome tab. Windows, screen 2, share. All right, let's have a look at this. So I'm going to bring them up. So we've got plenty of photos here. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll recognize any of these armies, Alex, but I mean, the one thing that we've been talking about in Australia is, do we get more hobby into masters as well? Because it is, I mean, the masters is just an event there in America, isn't it? With
It is
the
a
level of
site.
hobby is incredible.
Yeah, the one I went to in New York for as playing in Best of the Rest, like just the armies, just like everything just gets amped up to 11. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So this is obviously an Abyssal army. I
Yeah.
assume they're Abyssal Fiends.
Yes.
It's a cool model. That must be resin printed, because I haven't seen that before.
Hmm.
Yeah, but also some Mantic models in there
Wonder
too.
if that's John Green's army. Can't remember how many other Abyssal armies were there.
Yeah. This is Hank Googe's army, which we've
Yeah.
seen of before, but like, God,
S-
doesn't it look just as good on the table? Like, you always wonder when people take their photos with
Yeah.
their backgrounds, or,
Yeah.
how
No,
much is this? But God, that is good.
it's just as like it just pops, right? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Did he win Best painted in the end? I think you've got the results there.
Oh, I do. Let me just get it a full screen. So yeah, uh, best appearance was Hank, followed, and
Yep.
then Brenton, and then Mike Settlemeyer.
And then I think Brinton won People's Choice, didn't he? I'm
Yes,
hoping there's a picture of Brinton's
that
display board in here.
his display board is amazing.
Like, all I can do is shake my head.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, man? Um, so we've got some. Oh, that's obviously a Horde army, whatever that
Yes.
is. There's plenty of models on there.
an
I'll
ogre
tell you
army.
what was really interesting, what that triggers me. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, and just one of many ogre armies.
Yeah, but like the top was not high,
No,
which I found really interesting.
I will say, I think it was Andrew Minton was a top placing ogre player.
Mm.
I think he beat Mike Zettelmeyer in one of the rounds in his ogre army, but he was a top placing ogre army, and he was the only one to take triple crocodile wranglers, I think.
Yeah,
So
right.
they're clearly broken.
Clearly, clearly. I'm just so surprised that we didn't have an ogre in the top 10 based on those
Yeah,
lists. And not because I think the army itself is broken, but it's such a good scenario army.
yeah.
Yeah, like with everything scoring.
I think over 6 games, all those regiments kind of the waiver danger kind of
Yep.
adds up, and I think you can get stuck pretty easily. I think this
Yeah.
one is either
That's
Dustin's. Yeah,
Dustin Howard's, I think,
yeah,
the samurai style.
yeah.
Um, and
Corey
this,
Reynolds, his Twilightkin is a very similar theme as well.
oh, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I'm
but I
looking.
think
Oh,
that's
maybe
Dustin.
that's not. Do you
I don't know.
think?
It's not big enough for me to really. It looks
Yeah.
potentially like Dustin. I know it'll get corrected in the comments potentially. So.
Mm. Or that's a
Oh,
close
this
up.
is Dustin. Yeah, because those are
It
the
is?
Shadow
Yeah.
Hounds. The Shadow Hounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some of these models too. They're nice. Yeah. So he's got a mix of different
Yeah.
providers there, but some of it is Titan Forge, like those
Yeah,
guys
and
there are
his like
Titan Forge, and
his extreme highlighting style like really pops.
on
So,
those models, yeah, because
yeah.
they've got lots of high points. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. Um, doesn't the board make some of these look cool too?
Yeah.
Like just so we've got a bit of a mostly old GW army there.
Hmm.
We'll just keep flicking through. So this would be interesting. Do you reckon that base? Do you reckon that's counts? I wonder whose that is. It looks
Yeah, I
like
wonder
the
if that's
border would count because they've got
like a
individual.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a just a larger unit footprint for the models. But yeah, it doesn't because it's only 3 models deep.
6, 9, 12. Yeah, and only 4 across. So I
Yeah.
reckon that whole footprint counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Mm. But God, there's some. Oh, so this must be Double Mind Screech. Is this Adams? I think this is Adam Ballard's army, the winning army. Scarecrow, Scarecrow.
That
If
looks
there's
like it
4
might
hordes of
be
scarecrows, I think it's Adams.
that might be Marcello's
Oh, is it?
Bretonian or his
Oh, Bretonians. Yep.
his brother Mark or I can't remember if he brought brother Mark or
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. So hopefully these are coming up on the screen for people. Or oh, that's cool. This
Yeah.
army. Have you seen that before? Oh, this is against Jeremy, isn't it? Isn't that
Yeah.
Jeremy's in front?
It looks like it might be, yeah. Is
Yeah.
that
Jeremy,
might
if you're
be
still watching, let us know whose this is.
is that Bart and his
Bart Kohler.
yeah, his swamp army?
Oh yeah, well they do look like swamp bases.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't imagine there'd be too many. I love a swamp base. I love a swamp base actually where it doesn't have the thick, like when you get rid of it and you can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
When you get rid of the edging.
Yeah, the
Um,
translucent. Oh, there's
is that triple Shadow Hulk?
one of the triple Shadow Hulks. There's 2 triple. That must be Jeff Radigan's list because I think it was him and Dustin both had triple Shadow Hulks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Braytonian. True. We're not in the Warhammer days anymore, are
Yeah,
we, Luke?
Braytonians.
Yeah.
It's just me being lazy. Or is that
Yeah.
Matt who mispronounced it? Who knows?
Who
Both of
knows?
us?
Mm.
One of
EJ
the nature
Grenadiers.
lists?
Yep. Yeah, nature came in third.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Yep.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. What was it? Bryce Clark in his nature list.
Check out this model. So this
Oh,
is an
wow.
Alice in Wonderland theme, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. And I'm assuming Alice is a giant proxy. I'm trying to determine what this army would actually be.
Yeah.
That is a cool theme.
Can't expand it on my screen, but
Neil's asked how are people. Same way as any tournament, mate. It was however you decided to, whether it was dice or
Yeah. Some people
sewing
have the
things or
wound counter dials. Some people use like D10s or D18s or D20 or not 18s, but 12s or 20s.
yeah,
Usually something that isn't a D6 is usually best, or just a different colored or style of D6 than you're using for rolling.
yeah. This looks like an almost all full Mantic Night Stalkers. I want to say I can't quite see
Yeah.
these down the bottom, but that's nice to see. I think I didn't get a good vibe, but I have a feeling there might have been a fair few Mantic models around. And I mean, my belief is as we see more full range, I reckon we'll see more and more of that at
Yeah, it just
Masters.
gets easier and easier to actually have a full Mantic
Yeah,
army.
yep.
And then
We
we have
talked about this already, Luke, and we're actually there's a group of us that are trying to save it. So the US's one is currently not released for public. It's technically kind of still in beta. They're still building it. But Nick Pross is on the case of how we're going to take the code for tabletop and put it somewhere else.
we have former master Alex Chavez in the background there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
Deep in thought.
Yeah. It looks like he's having a lot of fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won best sports.
Did he?
For the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, great.
With a double Shadow Hulk Night Stalker list. So that's a testament to how nice of a guy he is.
Yeah.
And
do you know how they scored sports in the end?
I don't actually. I know there's a large spread, which is interesting to me as someone who doesn't love how most sports scoring is done.
Yeah.
When
I
I
would
see,
hope. Sorry, you go.
when I see like high, like the top sports score being almost double the middle of the pack or lower end of the range, that makes me very curious.
Yeah, me too. And what I would really hope is that list doesn't come into sports scoring at the Masters.
Yeah.
Like I can understand if you're trying to run a friendly little one-day tournament, but and
it's
build
hard
a
to
community.
remove, like even with explicit instructions. I think this is Michael Ireland's Ratkin, maybe.
Oh, back one.
Oh yeah, back one. He's got the claw shots there.
Oh yeah, yep.
I got mad respect to Michael Ireland because I think, what did he play?
He did well.
He did very well. He got top 5, I think. He was tied for 4th. Yeah. And everyone, I remember there was some shade being thrown at his allies, but he clearly made them work. And that's a nice tight list, Ratkin list.
Yeah. How I love this paint scheme here.
Oh, this is Brinton's Ogres. Like this paint scheme is
just
like
yeah. So this is off that big display board. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
That intense blue and orange really looks great.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting with the rise of 3D printing. You get some really cool models.
Yeah, like the snakes.
I don't know about this job, but
yeah, DIY. You know.
Yeah.
I think you still need to paint. You still need to paint.
Yeah, like it looks cool, right?
Yeah,
it looks cool, but yeah, I don't know. I don't love it.
No. This is Jeremy's.
This is Jeremy. Oh, he almost gave us a full wang shot there.
Yeah.
You know? Just hiding it.
Just go up on your toes next time, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, come on. Okay, what else we got here? I'm not sure how long these photos go for. I didn't actually click through before going live.
I don't think we have enough time to get through them all. No.
Yeah, no. But you know, as you can see, that was cool there. Or was that Abyssal Dwarves, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's tons of, like, the thing is, Masters is about the top players, but everyone gets there usually most regions score on overall. So you get a good mix of like really high level hobby and top end play. So it's not just, kill them all, optimized lists. It's people bringing, their passion projects.
Yeah.
To share.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that is a sweet model.
Oh, okay. Felix meant the triple snake army was Eric Trowbridge.
So. Right. Which means Eric also did the rocks.
Okay. Oh yeah, he had a bunch of elementals and then 2 hordes of salamanders so that he could still play orcs.
Yeah, we changed our accents just for today, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just think yeah, what American, or what hopefully will become North American Masters, has
Yeah,
done really well is promote it as a hobby show as well,
yeah,
right? I think if you take everything else out of it, and you can think, does that, I mean, that system obviously works well for their community, the way they've got
yeah,
it set up. Um, but what they've done really well is, despite the American Master only being decided on battle,
right.
there's still a massive hobby effort for it. Like,
Well, I think there's
and
still like there's like mini competitions. It's like, people like Hank Googe and Brinton, they want to get best painted or player's choice,
yeah, yeah, or Paragon,
or
or
Paragon, right? Yeah. Paragon was an interesting battle this year.
yeah, who won Paragon in the end?
So Paragon was Sean Polka with his Twilightkin, and then Zach Pierce got second, and Dustin Howard won third. But
Mm,
those two guys from the West region getting Paragon, and then you have
mm,
Brinton from West, getting Player's Choice and second in appearance. So like they really came hard with the hobby, like
yeah.
that overall package.
And I think as time moves on, if Mantic fill out their lines right, it'd be easy to
Hmm.
tweak it as a TO just a little bit to encourage that.
Hmm.
Like, you could have a Mantic only award, but you could say, well, actually, for best painted, we'll give you like an extra
5 points or
X
something like
amount of
that.
points
Yeah.
if you're 90% Mantic,
Hmm.
And I think for something like Masters, where the pack gets released well ahead of time,
Yeah.
right? I think that's fair.
Yeah. People plan ahead. Like I know Brinton's been working that army for like over 6 months. So
Yeah. Do we know there wasn't a best Mantic
I don't
gets a
believe
flight to
so.
somewhere, was there?
No, that's just Clash of Kings, and I think this year
Clash of
was
Kings.
Lone
Oh, that's
Wolf.
right. Mm.
Right. Yeah.
All
So
right.
then, yeah. So as everyone is probably aware at this point, Adam Ballard took overall 6-0. I
Hmm.
think he got like 143 out of 150 points available to him.
Yep. Hmm.
So he
Yep.
just crushed it all weekend long with his like just perfectly tuned, you know, Night Stalker list. I think he's like 16-0 with 3 tournaments with it now.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's a tough list. It's got that mix of
Yeah,
trash with, you
yeah.
know.
And
I mean,
then
that's the
the
thing
mix,
about the Night Stalker list. It's
yeah,
probably the most, yeah, it's the
it's
best of
good. It's
everything.
good. Start like there's like obviously you have specters, but everything else is good, and everything else is like not just like usable good, like good to great. So
Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily say that any of it is like, oh, maybe scarecrows and things, but you wouldn't, like, it would be debatable if you sat down unit by unit and said, well, this is the best in its class. But
right,
it's all very good, and you have access to it all within one list,
yeah, and
without
then
having to take model characters for inspiring,
right,
without having inbuilt shooting mitigation, you
hmm,
know. Um,
yeah,
it's
it's great.
yeah.
And then for Northern Kings, like you have access to a huge number of scoring heroes and monsters and titans, right? That are all
Mm.
good. So
Yeah,
that's a
because
huge,
often their bonus points are done on amount of units rather than unit strength. Is that correct?
yeah. Once you win, the bonus points are determined by the number of units that this number of scoring units, not total
Yeah.
unit strength. So that makes a big
Which is why
difference.
I'm even more surprised about the ogres, though.
Yeah, you'd think that
Mm.
they would also play to that strength too, but I think it's a tough field. And then maybe the Twilight Kin, shooting really can take a toll on those ogre warrior regiments.
Mm.
Like Twilight can chew through a lot of ogre warriors.
Mm.
Yeah, Paul, I
Yeah.
think nails it. Like the nimble bases, all those nimble, um,
And a
the
lot of speed 10.
the butcher flesh rippers, the what are they? The horror rift weavers,
Yep.
and then on top of soul flares and hordes to hold you up, and then they has like one or two reaper regiments to kind of clean things up. It's a really nicely designed list. It's not what you see in like soul flare spam or anything. It's just like it has a little bit. It has just enough of everything,
Mm.
and he's very good at playing a combined multi-system army because he's been doing EOD for years, and he's just kind of playing at a
And I think,
handicap for so
yeah. And I think the thing about Soul Flayers is that regiment base, but like Night Stalkers as a whole have just as much access to flying as anyone right? So it's just another. They're one of those armies that literally I can't think of a tool that they can't access.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
Wind
I
Blast
mean,
is such
obviously
a
they're not high def, but
no, but
yeah,
they can be. Like if you want to do Butchers and Shadow
yeah,
Hulks
true. Yep,
backed up with a planar apparition, and then you
yep.
have the Radiance of Life on the portal, like that.
Mm,
I think that's what Dustin ran. That's
yeah,
that's like a grind fest. But I
yeah.
think
Which is what. Sorry, you go.
I would say with the Soul Flares, just like the addition of Wind Blast. So you have the Speed 10, you have the Hordes, you have the nimble characters, and now you have extra board control with the Wind Blast.
Which is funny because almost in any other army, like you never take Wind Blast, right? Or a
Right.
unit that has Wind Blast.
Yeah.
But when you can get access to it, and particularly en masse, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have other characters who also have Wind Blast, whose Wind Blast does damage, like the Banshee,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's it's a very well-rounded list. What I do like this would be the thing that I wouldn't hope. Like if it's going to be nerfed, which let's be honest, when you see a lot of these coming up, it probably will be
Yeah.
in Clash of Kings. I hope it is specific units because I do love a list that has inbuilt multiple builds,
Yes.
you know, and we did see at the very least, even though we saw a lot of Night Stalkers, we saw a lot of multiple builds.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, and this is a good point from I can't see the Facebook comments at the moment, but as in who it is. But like
Yeah.
they because they're speed 10, you know, are they speed
Mm-hmm.
10?
Yeah. So you're at
Yeah, speed
28-inch
10.
range
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Wind Blast. So you're wind blasting things whenever you're not, and while you're positioning,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, it's not like yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
um and that makes them an even better scenario army than what they
Yes.
already are.
Well,
Yep.
that's the thing. Now
Like
you
if
have
you're
all these
playing
nimble
against that, you've
characters who
essentially
can,
got to go, yeah, yeah, you got
and
to go
then you
3
can
inches
put.
in front of a token in case they blow you back.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah, but then you look at the second place list. Jeff Radigan, he also he didn't have 4 hordes. He had 3 hordes and 1 regiment of scarecrows.
mm,
And then he took um, he went full soul flare crazy. He went six regiments, a planar
mm,
apparition, and then 3 shadow hulks.
mm,
That's it. It's
yeah,
like so
yeah,
3 shadow hulks with a planar apparition. That's a lot of nerve to chew through. And then you
yep,
have all the angles from 6 soul flares, and then you have all
mm,
the nerve from both the scarecrows and shadow hulks, because shadow hulks are -20. Like they're
mm,
fearless. That's
mm,
that's like they're probably top 2 giant right
mm,
now.
yep. Yeah, I agree. And I think so. I think in a lot of ways, besides it being slightly overpowered, is that the Night Stalkers is actually a really well crafted list
Yeah.
in terms of, and what I like about it is that it suits the way that I like to collect armies. You know, I like to
Hmm.
collect for like 4,000 points, not just enough for
Yeah.
one army. And I like to
Absolutely.
be able to use almost anything in that army. And as you
Right.
said, specters are pretty much the only thing that you wouldn't use.
Yeah.
Um, so, you know, I love it from that point of view. And I think that's great. That's why I think from a Mantic point of view, they shouldn't hit it too hard,
No.
you know?
I think it
Um,
raises an interesting point though. It's like when everyone was up in arms about undead a couple years ago, the one of the key things was people are complaining about zombies unlocking.
mm,
And I think Felix raises a point, like there's a lot of variation, and we were just talking about the variation between Night Stalker lists. But I think having access to scarecrows to unlock is a really big part of it, of making
mm,
all of those different builds work, even if it's just
mm,
3 regiments or 4 regiments.
mm,
Having those ultra cheap, fearless, you know,
mm,
chaff, regiments to unlock is a huge boon that only a handful of armies get, like zombies, Draugr, and then scarecrows.
mm. Although I think they have been trying to do that for more armies. So we saw like Kindred Warriors added to Elves, for
Yes.
example, right? So I think that rather than probably my gut feeling, and is in like a lot of the human armies, there's cheap men
Yes.
regiments, right? Or
Hmm.
people regiments, but
Yeah.
um, the problem is they're not as good as their counterparts, right? But you
And
still have them.
you
So I
don't
think
have the things to unlock that Night Stalkers have, right?
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Or you don't have Frostfang Lords to unlock, or you
yeah.
don't
You
have,
wouldn't take them because it's not necessary.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And then when it is necessary, it's probably they're just not as useful as scarecrows or zombies because they're not dash or they're not,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so, but and so it seems to be, and I've never talked about this with RC or anyone, but it seems to be that probably they've gone more for approach of give everyone access to at least one cheap unlock,
Hmm.
rather than take that unlock option away from people.
Yeah.
Mm,
But then that's
yeah.
also more of a give people things that are worth unlocking is also part
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
problem.
yeah, true. Absolutely. Well, you look in the elf list, it's only about characters, really, right?
Yeah,
Because they don't
exactly.
really have access to monsters.
And
So,
no one takes the war engines, so
yeah, so when that first came out, I was kind of like, well, what's the point other than getting someone more drops,
yeah,
But more drops can be a thing. Like if
right.
you've got an ultra alpha army, you
Hmm.
might want a couple of troops or regiments just that do nothing other than sit in a corner.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, so before we get to the end of the hour, let's just go through the results. We went through top three.
hmm
So we got Adam Ballard, then Jeff Radigan and Bryce Clark got second and third.
hmm
Bryce, sorry, I was just gonna look up what he was
I'll
using.
just keep scrolling through this list while you.
Yeah,
Oh, this must be that other Asian themed list that you were talking about.
yeah. So Bryce was from the southeast, and
Felix made
he
a
took
comment.
Forces of Nature. We already talked about that. So yeah, he took Earth Elemental Horde, 3 Scorchwing regiments, a Greater Air Elemental, a Pegasus, Glade Walker Druid because that's what you do. 2 Tree Herders, one of them being the Wilt Father, one of them having the Orb of Towering Presence, which I love. A unit strength
Mm.
2 Tree Herder is amazing at scenario.
I
And
would
then
love to see more Titans with unit strength too, just
yes,
quietly.
yeah, and then he
I
took
think
the
that
Air
would be a way to get them
Elemental
on the table. Yeah.
formation. So yeah,
Mm,
this is a great list. So a lot of
mm,
flying and a lot of really tough Def 6 unit strength up the middle. So yeah, I can see why that did well.
mm,
And
yeah.
then,
Uh,
oh,
mm.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's cool.
And then we had for Paragon, we went over Sean Polka, Zach Pierce, and Dustin Howard. So a couple of West guys coming out ahead of the Texas Super Beast. Then we got
Hmm
Hank Googe, Brinton, and Mike Zettelmeyer for appearance. Like all three of those armies are stunning. Mike Zettelmeyer has this incredible Slayer ogre army. It's all like dwarf Slayer themed ogres
mm.
that he's been working on for like 10 years. It's incredible.
I think there was a picture of that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, at one point I think we did bring that up. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We've gone on and on about Hank's armies. Brinton's is
mm.
incredible. You'll have to go through the photos on your own
I'm
time to find the
yeah,
Brinton display board because
I'm trying to
it's,
find that right now to see if I can
yeah.
share it. I
And
don't
he
know if
won
anyone posted it in counter charge.
Brinton won player's choice, and rightfully so, because it is a spectacle.
Mm,
So then we have sports. I think was a 3-way tie, is what I heard. So Alex Chavez, Dan Wright, and Devlin Smith. And I think
hmm
the tiebreaker was based on Paragon scoring. So Alex came out
mm.
on top. Dan Wright from BC, go Canada, and Devlin.
I say blame Canada. Mm.
uh,
Blame
and
Canada.
then the best battle region is top three. I think this is like pretty much every year. South wins, and then Mid Atlantic, and then Northeast.
I was surprised they won. I don't know how they scored it, but like coming into last game, they were not in top spot, I don't think,
Yeah, but they got a
which was
bunch in the top 10 in the end. That's because like they have Jeff Radigan. Well, maybe not top 10, but
no,
top
they
15.
submarined up,
Yes,
they
Pat
got
Pat
snuck to the
Allen and
final.
Dustin Howard snuck in at the end, and then Mike Piercy got pretty high too. And then we have sportsmanship region, so Southeast. Surprisingly, the home of the shooting won the sportsmanship, but I think there's a lot of brawlers this year on the team, so that probably helped.
Yeah.
Mid
If anyone
Atlantic,
can DM me a link to Brinton's picture, they should do that so I can get it on
yeah,
screen. Sorry
and
to
then
interrupt. Yeah,
Northeast. So yeah, Southeast,
yeah,
Mid Atlantic, Northeast. So the East Coast won sportsmanship, no surprise. Everyone else,
yeah.
um, appearance West, yeah, because like you look up to the top, the guys who won Paragon, both from the West. Brinton's from the West, so they
Mm,
won best appearance. Northeast got second best appearance, and Pacific Northwest got third best. And then they did a Paragon region as well. So
hmm
Northeast was the Paragon region,
Hmm.
and then Southeast, and then Mid Atlantic. So again, the East Coast.
Okay, because I think right up until maybe that last couple of games, Mid Atlantic had 3 or 4 going really strong in the rankings
Yeah,
for um yeah.
yeah. I think
um,
there must something because yeah, you have Alex Chavez, Matt Griffin, and Michael Ireland, all in the top 20. It looks
mm,
like, but
I'm
say
just
the
seeing.
South already also has 3 people in that, and then Brad McKay just it. It's 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Felix. Felix has just slid into my DMs. I got a nice little chill down my back when he did that. Let's share this from Brinton because this is incredible. Oh, is that flicking
Oh,
for you or just for me?
it is. You're giving me a
Oh,
seizure.
apology. I don't know why that is when you're literally just sharing a screen. Let's
Try
try that
again.
again.
One more time.
No,
No.
maybe I got too many pop-ups or something. Hold on.
Maybe Felix sent you a virus.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll save it. JPEG. Let's see if I can get that going. Here we go. Let's try this again. Share screen. Window. This. There we go.
Yeah, just incredible. It's like a chariot racing coliseum. Can't remember what they call it. Something drome, not a velodrome because
Um,
that's for bikes, but chariot
I know
drome.
what you mean. I know what you mean. All it needed was uh,
Ben Hur.
like I know. Yeah, I was gonna say, and what's old mate that played Ben Hur in the original, not
Oh,
the shitty new one.
oh,
Um,
is it Charlton Heston?
Yes, Charlton Heston. Like I
Yeah.
know a lot of these people around the edge. So what some people might know is not know is that around the edge these are like nods. Not all of them, I think, but the
Right,
hippodrome from Paul. That's
right,
what he said.
Hippodrome. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Paul, font of all knowledge.
Yes.
Um, but some of these are nods to people in the community.
There's a
So
Pikachu in the middle.
Pikachu is for Jake.
Yeah.
I think there's a Varus the spider, which is Tom Annis.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so there's a few around the edge. So like the level of effort that has gone into
Yeah.
this is just
Well, it's like
in incredible.
for the New York Masters, he had a fight wagon Legion
Mm,
that was like a giant rolling monstrous thing that had 4 gaming tables, and he had 8 personalities from Kings of War playing games on the tables.
mm,
So he just goes next level with his
mm.
hobby, and it's incredible to see.
Yeah, I haven't confirmed, but I think this is actually representative of me with the big spear. So
Oh yeah, well yeah,
yeah, obviously,
yeah. Uh,
obviously.
sorry, the horse's ass is just out of the picture, and that's Rob.
Yeah, I'm
Got
pretty sure
cut.
that is a true story.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Maybe Brinton can come on one Monday and tell us
We
who
can
all these
break it down.
personalities are. But
Yeah, get some good
yeah,
close-ups.
what an incredible effort. Like I don't know. I don't know if anyone has any insight whether he foam cut this or whether it's printed and put together. I've no idea,
I feel like
but it
I
is.
think that'd be a great like Monday night having him just break down what he did, how he did this.
Yeah, well, I just noticed too that Rob's also got he did post from the army parade.
Right.
So if you want to see all the armies on their display boards, just jump into the group and you have to scroll down a fair way because there are a lot of masters posts. But yeah, but they're all there and it was
Yeah.
an incredible effort.
Quite the sight. Would have been
Mm,
great to see in person.
mm. Not quite the sight that you've had tonight, people, but
No.
if you're looking for a little bit of extra eyeball pleasure, then you can jump into the group and have a look.
Hmm.
So like we didn't get to July picks, but we can get to those but I'll just encourage people. There is a thread for the July portion of the hobby challenge. So please get in and post your picks. And we'll probably share those next week. Yeah, you got anything else you want to share, mate?
No. Yeah, King Beyond the Wall. Don't forget, if you're in the Northeast, August 13th and 14th, we got room for lots of players. So sign up. I will share the post again, the event page again this
Yep.
week, and that'll do us for tonight.
Oh, I just remembered I'm running a tournament this weekend.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Matt's doing
Yeah.
things too.
Yeah. I just remembered. I've got to buy the boards because it's at a new store. So
Okay,
we're supplying our own boards and everything. But
just a one
uh,
day.
yeah, just one day. It can only
Nice.
fit 16, so we've got
That's
16 all signed up.
that's a good one day. That's a good size for a one day.
Yeah, so we've got that there, and so it's called Rise of Ronin because the game store is named Ronin Games.
Nice.
And I approached the Dojo TT. Well, I approached Tom. I don't know about the rest of them, and I said, "Look, can I use your samurai characters?" And so I tweaked them a little bit. I took away the large infantry base,
Mm-hmm.
and I also added a special rule: walk like a samurai, talk like a samurai. So anyone
Okay.
that doesn't bring a samurai character that is appropriate has to do a samurai walk for us before we start the tournament with everyone around.
All right.
A
Just a
samurai
little
strut, I think I
a
called it.
little
Yeah,
public humiliation goes a long way.
exactly. You should know that I would be right into that.
Yes, absolutely.
And I will absolutely be filming it for anyone that does not bring a samurai character. So,
Perfect. I love it.
yeah. So I thought, I didn't give them much notice. I only turned this around, like we turned it around in about a few weeks. So I thought, I don't want to punish people too much with points. So, let's punish them with humiliation instead if they don't bring a
Perfect.
samurai character.
The Australian way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you want to take us out, mate?
That'll do us for tonight. Until next time, keep countercharging.